Hello and welcome to part 2 of my Civilization 5 playthrough on Deity with Korea. I'm picking up where I left off. I have this great scientist. I'm going to go ahead and play him. And as you can see, I built a science tile which gives me a +8 in science rather than just a +6. That's one of the perks of working with the Koreans, is every time you use a great person, or at least every time you build a tile with a great person, you get a +2 in science. And that would work for all the great people, whether I use a great artist or a great merchant. It would always be a +2 in science when I build that tile. Looks like this was where I got interrupted again. I got interrupted a lot in this game. But anyways, here we go. And so I have astronomy, and the great thing about astronomy is now I am in the Renaissance era. And because I am in the Renaissance era, the next time I upgrade my social policies, I will be able to upgrade to a scientific social policy, and that will give me a +50% on my research agreements. I don't know how many civilizations I've met at this point. I think I've only met 3. So I only have 3 people that I'm doing research agreements with. But eventually I will meet everyone. So instead of just getting research agreements from 6 to 7 people, I get the equivalent of research agreements with up to 10 or 11. And when you're dealing with that many people, man, those research agreements, they start coming in every 5 or 6 turns. You're getting just boom, 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 getting a new technology. I don't normally like to build down in the tundra like this, but we have the Great Mesa there. I had a luxury resource there, so there were some good reasons to go building in the tundra, but most of the time, there's no rivers down there. There's not a lot of place to get food. Normally I try and stay away from all of those places. Wow, it's going to take me 17 turns to get an observatory. That's going to be a long process. 17, that's normally what it takes to build a world wonder. I probably should have just bought the observatory. I don't know. On Deity, you want to save all of your money so you can use it for research agreements. you never want to be unable to make a research agreement if you can. And it turns out there was some iron available. Before, when I was talking about what I should have done, I don't know if you noticed that sugar up in the left-hand corner. I should have sent my settler over there. I don't normally try and get navigation. If I was any other civilization, I wouldn't. But with the Koreans, you need that boat, the frigate. You only get the frigate with the navigation technology. And you need that boat in order to explore the rest of the map. Every other civilization can do it with the observatory technology. Or the astronomy technology. But the Koreans do not have that ability, so I have to go a slightly different route. Met somebody else that was new. I really don't like it when I can't believe I did that. I don't like accepting open borders for nothing. Sometimes it builds goodwill and will pay off later. But I should have just done a research agreement with them if that was the case, because building research agreements also creates goodwill and makes allies. It's annoying when this happens too. I have a trade deal going on, everything's working great, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have that luxury resource anymore. Gandhi didn't have cotton, or enough cotton to trade. So I am stuck at 0 happiness now. My cities are growing. That's not good. Unhappiness between 0 and -5 is not that big a deal. Once you get past -5, though, it really becomes problematic. And once you get, I think it's -15, that's when you start having uprisings. People start rebelling against you. And so I'm clicking the avoid growth button. This will keep my cities from growing too big, so my unhappiness doesn't go into the negative. I just hate seeing the negative more than anything. When it turns red, I like to keep it at 0. Keeps everything moving pretty flawlessly. Surprised I haven't tried to build any roads between my cities yet. have to make sure, but I think I haven't even researched roads. I know that doesn't make much sense. I can build an observatory, but I don't know how to build a road. Kind of kind of a contradiction. But that's the route I decided to go on on this game. Yeah, I don't even. You can see there, I don't even have the ability to build a road. So I haven't researched it yet. I think it's the wheel. The technology I do not have is the wheel. Uh, but you know what? In real life, the Aztecs didn't. They never invented the wheel, and they became a very advanced civilization. So not everybody progresses at the same in the same way, and they don't have to. See, Darius is friendly with me now, so wow. Wow, he still does not want to trade. Take the money, but there you go. Well, I made the deal anyways, but it was an equal deal. Or I guess as equal as I could make it. And there we go with navigation. So that's good. I can start, well, I don't have iron yet, but I do have a worker at the iron mine, so I should have iron pretty soon, and then I can start building frigates. I'm trying to remember if I built any frigates in this game, though. I don't think I did. I think I came to meet all the other civilizations before I had to start building ships. Just to show you the rate at which I have to catch up, the year, you can see the year in the upper right-hand corner. It's 620 AD, and I am already in the Renaissance era, and I'm still behind everyone else. Just to put that into perspective, in the real world, the Renaissance era was in, I don't know, the 1400s, 1300s, 1400s. So I am 5 centuries ahead of schedule, and I'm still behind everyone else in the game. That is how hard Deity is. And at 600 AD, I finally learned how to build a wheel. There's Elizabeth. I like Elizabeth. This is a very unusual Civilization 5 game play because I'm trying to remember, but I don't think anyone ever declared war on me. And, you know, war, it's a horrible thing in real life, but when you're playing a game, it does bring some excitement to the gameplay. Finally finished that observatory. So there you go. I am at I am at 115 science at 700 AD, so I am rocking it. All these other technologies are only taking me one turn to research. Got to build some coliseums in these other cities to help with my happiness, but other than that, I am in really good shape. And another, there we go. So I think I have research agreements with pretty much everyone. That's key also when you have friendly relations with all the other civilizations and you can do research agreements with all of them. Because they don't do research agreements with each other. Um, they're always fighting each other, the other civilizations. So when you can get agreements with all seven of them, just competition wise, it helps. Because the most they will ever do deals with is with two or three other leaders, including you. So if you can do deals with all of them, that gives you a huge advantage right off the bat. That's really disheartening. Big Ben just got um, built. I didn't need Big Ben. I just hate seeing world wonders built from technologies that I'm not even close to getting yet. It makes me feel like I'm way behind. But I am way behind still. I mean, it's still a game of catch up. The good news is it looks like I'm in the same age as everyone else. It looks like we are all in the Renaissance era. If I was still in the Renaissance era and somebody built the Statue of Liberty or something from the industrial era, then I'd be really worried. Because at that point, I don't think I would have enough time to catch up. And another scientist. They just keep on coming. Couldn't see his name. Enrico Fermi? I've never heard of him. I've heard of most of these people. Whenever a great person spawns, it's always like Pablo Picasso, or I think I saw um, Steven Spielberg as a great artist once. So they're very creative. They use real world people, which I like. Enrico, though, I don't know who he is. Enrico Fermi. I should look him up, see what he did. See what he did that earned him a spot on Civilization 5. So I'm finally building my roads. Roads are really important when you are in the middle of a war, because you want to be able to, if you're building your troops in one city, you want to be able to get them to the front lines as soon as possible. So you want to build roads connecting your cities, and they also give you trade routes, which, earns you more money. Speaking of money, wow, I have almost 800 gold. And England beat me to the sugar over there. I know I was just talking about how much I liked Elizabeth. I forgot that she did that. Now I hate her. Here's the downside to the technology path that I took, is I'm not researching metal casting until now. I know metal casting, you're able to build a workshop in your cities, and the workshop is really important for your production. It really starts to skyrocket when you have a workshop in your cities. And since I didn't do it until now, it really set me back. But here you can see, research agreement came through, and we just started jumping ahead. I mean, I've almost got the printing press, and it's 1920. I don't think the real printing press was invented until sometime around the 1600s. So yeah, I'm now 700 years ahead of schedule. I typically judge my progress by the Statue of Liberty. Um, the Statue of Liberty, I never get into a position where I can build it when I'm on Deity, but it pops up in my notifications that someone else had built it around 1400. And if I am still in the Renaissance era by that time, I pretty much just stop the game and start all over. Because there's no way I can come back from that. Looks like I forgot to renew my research agreement with Gandhi. I'm glad I picked that up. I try to get an aqueduct in my science city as soon as possible because so much of your science comes from your population within that city. And the aqueduct helps your population grow faster. Because I'm not allowing that city to grow anymore, this is a good time to build it. And a new city by a mountain. So because it's by a mountain, I want to start building science buildings, libraries, universities, etc. And here you see the other civilizations are already starting to go to war against each other. By all means do so. Less competition for me. In a situation like this on Deity, when I don't have a big army, if someone does declare war on me, I try and get, a couple other civilizations to declare war on them and gang up on them. To kind of take the pressure off of me. It's tough because sometimes you have to give away everything you have to bribe the other countries to do that. But it's worth it. It's better than getting completely annihilated. Sometimes you have to go into debt and you have to go into negative happiness. But it would always be worth it. Man, plus 30 gold. Man, I was kicking ass in this game. I think most of that is the fact that I have no military units, though. Military units are expensive to upkeep. So without them, I am able to earn a lot more gold. And again, that's just luck. I mean, I was very, very lucky to be in a situation where nobody declared war on me. So those individual scores too, I'm not that far behind everyone. Normally in Deity, my score is much lower than everyone else. Obviously Elizabeth is kicking ass. I think she has 3 times as much as I do. But with everyone else, it looks like I'm in range. And Elizabeth just went to the industrial era. That is problematic. Well, I don't know. I'm researching scientific theory right now. And the industrial era, I think it's just a couple more technologies past scientific theory. So I'm still in good shape. I probably should have built this city down where the Great Mesa is. Take advantage of all the points. I think it's 3 production and 2 gold at the Great Mesa. But, whatever. Man, I've got no production up here. Guess I got the sheep. Those sheep are gonna help me build a coliseum. I should do a better job of paying attention to the civilization and who's friends with who. Because, like, just now, Elizabeth offered to make a public declaration of friendship. Normally, I'd take that, especially considering she's the most powerful person on the map. But whenever you do that, it you just run the risk of making enemies with other people, and without being able to look at the global politics in that moment, it's hard to say which gives you the advantage and which doesn't. So to be on the safe side, I just always say no. Public declarations of friendship, they have their perks, but for the most part, in my experience anyways, they cause more trouble than good. See, I had to say no to Japan for the exact same reason. I don't know who Japan is friends with. I don't know who they are at war with. So I don't want to commit diplomatically to a country that could end up sending me to war with somebody else. But my little nation here is taking shape. I have 6 cities, I think. Yeah, which is nice. Normally I don't get to build that many cities in Deity. I get overrun pretty quick by all the other civilizations expanding. That keeps me from really getting too many cities going. He accepts. Good. Oh, I have a few. Looks like I can do a research agreement with Japan. Oh, I didn't see it though. Like I said before, I've already played the game. I'm making this commentary the day after. So I already know that I won this, and I'm just kind of explaining my thoughts. But even after a day, I mean, these little details I kind of forget about. Looks like I made a big mistake. Oh, did I see it? Did I see it? I don't think I saw it. I think I'm about to catch myself making a big mistake. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, Jeff. Japan. I could have made a research agreement with Japan. Should have done that. No reason not to. Something to talk about here. I just clicked on the plastics technology, so I'm going to try and go for plastics far in the future. So I have to research all these other things first. The problem with plastics is depending on the situation, I kind of have to go out of my way to get there. The reason I wanted to research plastics was it gives me a scientific building. It gives me the scientific building of a research laboratory. And the research laboratory increases your science by 50%, so it's a big building to have. It really boosts you. But to get there, you have to take a major detour from the technology tree for a scientific victory. Building the spaceship, you have to research other things first. So it really is, it's a judgment call. You have to decide, is it worth going off that path to potentially get a bigger payoff later? And even though I selected plastics this early in the game, and I'm going to go for it, I think I changed my mind later. I think when the moment comes to deviate from that path for a science victory, I think I chose not to deviate. I think I chose to continue on the path and not go for plastics. And I only bring that up because, like I said earlier, in this game, you have to adapt to the situation. And you have to make choices based on what is happening in the world around you. You can start building public schools. Public schools don't help you too much when you don't have a big population. Really had to get the population of that city growing faster. But they do give you some points, and some points are better than none. So, yeah, by all means, go for it. See how these other civilizations, they've declared war on the city-states around me, so I've got all this violence happening all around me, but I am not a part of it. Good news is I'm just a few steps away from getting into the industrial era, so I've almost caught up with Lady Elizabeth of England. Yeah, I don't have much to talk about here. Just waiting for all these things to get finished. One of my biggest weaknesses in this game is my lack of patience. If you're a patient player, you can do very well in this game. I am not a patient player, so I really struggle. That's why I hate going to war so much. I just want to get the war over with so I can go back to building my science buildings or my culture buildings, whatever kind of victory I'm going for. I've only got about 5 minutes left on this playthrough, so I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty quick. I'll be coming back for part 3. I hate when I see settlers from other civilizations on my land. I want to declare war and just take them, just because I'm sick of these settlers walking around on my island trying to find a place to build a city. In the industrial era. So I'm in the industrial era at 1280 AD. So that puts me at about, I don't know, 600 years. But I'm still 600 years before schedule, or ahead of schedule. Still behind Elizabeth, but I think I'm ahead of most of the other civilizations, which is a good sign. Looks like Rome built a city on my land. Frickin' Romans. It's alright, there's nothing over there. Looks like Harun al-Rashid already has a tank gun. These guys are progressing fast. Not sure what happened here. I'm guessing I got pulled away again. Got another phone call or something like that. There we go. Building a farm. I gotta start building a road to that city up in the north. That's really important in a scientific victory also, because once you start building spaceship parts, you gotta get them all to your capital. You gotta do that with roads. But in any case, time to save, and I will come back for part 3.